Hit the button, the recording button, and we are ready. Good morning, Mel. Good morning, Woden. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. I've got a digging project I've been working on. Figured why not to do a little bit this morning. I have another project going on inside there. So, it was a coin toss. Coin toss of what I wanted to do. Did I want to work on that for the video tomorrow, or did I want to do this one, for now? Yep. Oh, fun. So we have dug out quite a decent, or flattened out a decent area so far. We got a ways to go. But this whole thing right here that went off this way and it went off this way, like, that only took a couple of hours to dig. So realistically, ooh, I made it. This shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad. So let's get started. Yep. Got a lot of digging to do, and then we still got a ton of work after that, placing all of the mud. And oh yes, I grabbed grass. I need to go grab I need to go grab mud. Did I grab any mud? Crud. I got it. I swear I did. I swear. I swear to... Oh, huh? Bang. What did I do? I guess I'll just grab what I have in here. Because we need to make... I need to spend some time just kind of on and off AFKing this thing to get a bunch. Of mud, but there's going to be a couple of areas it looks like I need to fill in as we're going. Dragon Flame, good morning. Welcome. But I could have sworn I already did it. Maybe I didn't. You know? Sugarcane. Yeah, there's no... This is where I had the mud. It's fine. It's fine. Should we sleep? We should probably just sleep. I do love, absolutely love being on the Mushroom Island doing things, because it's so nice not having to worry about creepers and death. You know, death, kind of like what happened on the hardcore world. Yep, we died in the nether of all places in the hardcore world. A little sad. I was being a little careless. That's what I get. I guess I forgot I was playing hardcore. It's no big deal. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need a little bit more than what I have. But that does, yeah, hardcore is hardcore. That's why. It was my first go-around with hardcore, so... You know, lessons learned. I'm not a professional like Bruno. But it is sad, but it does give me the opportunity to be able to to jump in on some of these larger projects I've been kind of putting off here on Truly Bedrock, which is nice. I will build a statue. You did too, Tiz. Very, very ironic, I think, that I died in the Nether. Hilarious, but ironic, nonetheless. I have more time to do other things. I'm doing a lot of larger projects. And, of course, we're doing some grinding on Legends Arceus. We talked a lot about that last weekend. Give it, thank you. Yeah. I think we're down to, what, 8 on the hardcore server still surviving? I should have never logged in, then I could have survived the longest, or I should have never logged back in. But you know. Is what it is. I think I said this, oh, I didn't say this. I said this in my episode coming up. I would love to do another hardcore series, but I don't think I would ever want to do like a solo series. It was a lot more fun having, you know, people online, and then of course potential to run into them. All right, yep, we're almost enough mud. I'm gonna need a lot of mud. We'll have to go back down there. We'll have to go set some more dirt in the machine and collect the muds. But I cannot wait to get started on the build here. The build over there, I'm not as excited for because I still don't know what I'm doing. We'll figure it out. Ooh. I shouldn't say I just woke up. I've been up for about an hour, but ooh. It's still early. It's still very early. And of course, today is a day. Today is a day that I very well could have slept in. But my puppy was downstairs whining. And I have an alarm set anyway to get up and let him out and feed him. You know, he's only what? How old are you, Jack? Jack. Oh, he's sleeping. Sorry. I think he's 5 months old. So, you know, he's still a baby. Still gotta go potty. Not like my older dog where I can bring him in at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I can leave him. I mean, he'll sit here for all day, all night. Huh. Oh, man. Yeah, you're getting old, buddy. But he can go, you know, quite a distance without needing to go outside. But yeah, the puppy woke me up. I'm still trying to wake up, so we're gonna wake up while digging. What a way to do things. So I was looking into the pup. Very smart. He's a German Shepherd mix. I think I shared pictures in the Discord. Did I share it only in Truly Bedrock? Maybe I only shared it in Truly Bedrock, but smart puppy. Very, very smart. As he's licking the bottom of the floor. Jack, you being crazy? Guess he wasn't sleeping. But no, we were looking at, or potentially looking at, like a service animal. Polyboy, good morning. You know, because there's a few things, like my wife's got pretty high anxiety. I've got another kid with some special needs. And, holy crap. Like, buying a service dog that's already pre-trained and stuff is pretty pricey, and it's hard to find. Like, you gotta be on a waiting list, at least what I was looking up. training one yourself to be a certified service dog could take up to a year of constant training, which is insane, and it would cost a few $100s, like there's a Lurcher, Greyhound, and Staffy mix. Ooh, big dog. Do I have this chest? There we go. Yeah, it costs like $500 to do the training for myself and my wife. And then we'd have to spend a couple hours a day for about a year, they say, to train him into a certified service, certifiable service dog. If you want to have somebody else professionally train him, you're talking, you're talking anywhere from 10 grand to 40 grand on average. Holy crap. Because my wife had noticed the other day when she was taking the pup to the vet to get him, some of his rounds of shots were, what is it, is it Bordatello? The one where they drink creek water and they can get sick. Because we want to take him out. You know, he already loves to be with the family and loves to go everywhere just like my other dog. So we want to take him out to the falls and on some hikes and stuff like that. But we can't do that until, of course, he's got all of his proper shots. Because, you know, we're responsible pet owners, man. But she noticed anyway when she was taking him to the vet the other day that her anxiety whilst driving was significantly lessened. And she's noticed that with my other dog, too. The only thing that she gets real anxious about is if it's a long car ride and having to, you know, pull over and try to find somewhere to take the dog to use the bathroom. So it was just a conversation that we got started last night, and then of course I started doing research because that's what I do. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, holy, I'm in the wrong business, man. Like, I should be in the dog training business. But it would be cool. It would be cool to have that available option. Especially if it would help my wife with her anxiety, because first thing in the morning, it's kind of rough. Not too bad, like if we're just chilling at the house like today, we're going to do some cleaning. I've got a couple honeydews. Yeah, one of them is a long project that I should have finished probably a year ago, but you know, I get to it when I get to it. I don't know why my wife has to remind me every 8 months or every 3 months that, hey, 8 months ago you said you were going to get this done. I'll get it done. Oh, but the puppy's doing great. I can't wait to get him out and about and running around. Super friendly dog, super nice. Very happy boy. Yeah. It's like a friend of a friend. Something like that. Somebody my wife knows. Yeah, ran out of meds for 3 days. Oof, man. Yeah, my wife used to take those, but they made her, like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was just a weird thing, and it was almost worse than just dealing with the anxiety. So I get it. I'm not a very anxious individual, and all things considered, with childhood trauma and stuff that I endured, I'm very happy and shocked that what I have to put up with is very, very minimal. But I can't remember. there was something going on, and I was super, super anxious. And that's when I told my wife, I was like, this is how you feel? This is how you feel every day, all the time. Not all the time, but you know what I mean. It's like, oh, Jesus, how do you deal with this? Because all it did was, all it did for me was really piss me off, because I didn't want to, I didn't want to be like that, and wanted to, get over it, but I did. I moved on, but, you know, I know people deal with that stuff on a regular basis. It's insane. I have to have my dosage half because it tanks the blood pressure. Ugh. That's what I hate. Man, I tell you what. So my old man's been on different medicines for a long time, ever since he had a stroke. Which he's had 3 strokes now. Total 4 major strokes. Still kicking. He's a tough SOB. But they had to put him on, you know, blood pressure medication. They had to put him on things to, what's the word I'm looking for? Counteract the negative effects of the blood pressure medication. Then they had to put him on medication for the negative effects of the negative effects. And it's just, you know, take this pill and it's going to help your blood pressure, but you know, you might be bleeding from the ears. So take this pill for the bleeding from the ears, but you might sneeze all the time. It's quite annoying. Goodness. Got a frog in my throat. So looking into different options, we thought that could be a thing. There are other options, of course, than just paying thousands of dollars for a service dog. We can go, you know, you can get a medical professional to take a look, and you can be referred, and there's grant programs and stuff like that too. We didn't dive too heavy into it, but definitely something we're looking at. Whatever helps. That's what I think. This is a lot of dirt. Mycelium becomes dirt, and dirt becomes mud. Ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. I've got... Yeah, I was making sure I healed all of the shovels before I started this. I tried to prepare a little bit better for the stream. Outside of this dang cough that is regular. So, I know my UK peeps have been dealing with some insane temperatures as of late. Getting upwards of 40 degrees Celsius, which for American peeps, take 40 degrees times 9/5 and then add 32, and that'll get you the the conversion. In case you wanted to know that thing, 40 degrees Celsius is a roughly, I think, 103, 104 degrees. Rye Guy, what's up? That's very cool. It's a local guy who trains guide dogs for the blind. I don't think I could do that job, because give the dog to someone who needs it at the end. I know, right? I would struggle too. I get super attached to the dogs. I'll get into the story of the friend with Jack. Don't let me forget, because I do tend to go off on tangents. Look. We're going to have one conversation, but there are going to be 36 sidebars, and we might not finish the original conversation. Hit 106 in your village? Oof. So, I know that the UK peeps are dealing with hot temperatures, and over here on the US side of things, we deal with hot temperatures all the time. Like, I saw in the news, it's perpetrated a little bit. and embellished, I think, a bit as well, because the news was going on one about how hot it is already in the United States, and it's going to be a heat wave summer. Now, we are in July. It's going to be hot. It's pretty typical, but they were going on one about Phoenix, Arizona. It's so hot, and they're like, it's 108 degrees in Phoenix, which yes, that is warm. That is very hot. I don't think I could do the whole streaming and YouTube thing if I couldn't do conversations like that. You gotta be able to talk, right? Think about when you're doing YouTube videos. I'm literally sitting here talking to you, but you're not watching. It's just me recording. Yeah. Anyway, I'm talking to myself for 30 minutes, and then you guys watch me talk to myself for 30 minutes. So who's the weirdo in the situation, huh? But 108 degrees is warm. Now, Pueblo, Colorado, which is a hop, skip, and a jump for me. It's about 15 minutes away to the north side of old Pueblo. It's been 108 degrees the last couple weeks there. Which is very typical. When I worked down in Pueblo the couple of summers I have, it's gotten upwards of 116 degrees. I think 116 was the highest I saw it. So some of it is very mind over matter type things, like me, because I respond like you can hear it. Yeah, I do too. I totally understand that. But mind over matter, right? If you don't mind, it don't matter. And that's how mind over matter works. Simplified. That's free. You guys can take that. You can steal it. You can use it. But I think it's overworked and like, I don't know why the media is being the way it is with it. 'Cause yeah, it's hot out there. It is. And people need to be, on the lookout and paying attention to, water intake and salt intake and things like that. Which is why I shared on Twitter that it may sound gross, but the best way to watch your hydration and fluid levels is to check the color of your urine. As a construction worker that works in extreme temperatures all the time, that is something we are literally trained to do. So, yeah. I think this is going to be a divider line right here. I should set up a beacon. I should, huh? You know what? Let's do it. I think a beacon is going to be, because a lot of this mountain is not going to be dirt. It's a bigger mountain than the rest. So, it's only 85 today with 90% humidity. Ugh. I'm not built for humidity. I am not. Foxy responds to himself as the YouTube commenter. that resonates. That checks out. Here in Colorado, we don't have a high humidity, so it is a very, very dry heat. But anyway, the purpose, or where I was going with my conversation, is I've actually been working in a building, and I shared pictures a long, long time ago on oh, that's right. I have a whole box dedicated to iron. Psh, look at that. It's so nice that my stuff got fixed, because I have all the iron. Anyway, I shared a while back a picture, I think, and talked about a building that I was currently working in, to which it was extremely hot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it 9? 9 by 9? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it is. And essentially what this building does is they mine Bitcoin. Is it 9 or is it 11? Good advice. I was on a milling machine Monday at 44 degrees Celsius. Never seen it that hot in the north of England. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It is hot. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying I think it's embellished quite a bit. And then you've got all these people that are jumping on, you know, do this and do that and do this and do that bandwagon, and it gets annoying for me because, like, I'm trained in a lot of different things through the construction industry. I think I built this whole thing wrong. Maybe not. Nope, I did perfect. And so I get super annoyed when people are saying things that are incorrect. There we go. You know? But to each their own, I guess. I don't know. I just think some people need to stay in their lane. Live near Finland. Can get pretty humid. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad during the worst heat. We had lollies. We were good. Nice. Did I put my beacon too far away? Are you serious? That's all right. We'll get to it. So yeah, the building I'm working in, essentially what they do is they mine Bitcoin. They have their little miners and they run constantly, and they took an old building that used to manufacture computer chips for Intel, and they pretty much gutted a couple of buildings where the old generators were. And so on the one side where they have the open to the outside air, which would have been the exhaust area, they have that area open and they have misters. So as the air gets sucked down, it hits the misters and cools down, and then they use fans to suck it into the room. Then they have their miners set up on racks, and the air gets sucked into the miners, cool, and then on the back side it comes out very, very hot. And then on what they call the hot side, they have fans sucking it to the outside, and that's just how it goes. I did place my beacon a little too far away, but that's okay. And so that is the ideology behind them trying to cool these machines down, because they run very, very hot. And I was talking to the guy yesterday who's kind of in charge of the place, and he said their mechanical failure rate is extremely high, and they are working on means to fix it, because electronic devices do not like heat. Duh. My freezer's full of ice lollies and frozen water bottles. Yeah. I use frozen water bottles as a way of... Like when I go out on these out-of-town jobs, that is my way of bringing home perishable foods. I freeze water bottles. See, I was smart. Like 4 years ago, I put an air conditioning in my house. Best money I ever spent, and it was expensive, but we did it. So anyway, needless to say, on the hot side of these miners, they have exhaust fans, and the exhaust fans, and we're going to get a little educational today, have what they call VFDs. VFDs are a variable frequency drive, and what they do is they mess with the frequency, and you can spin a motor faster or slower. You can ramp them up. There's all kinds of things you can do. You can spin them backwards. You can spin them forward. They're pretty neat, and there's a lot of different things that can go on with VFDs. These guys have very, very basic ones. So it's quite insane. They've got their VFDs in cabinets, and they're getting too hot, and they're actually failing. So what they want to do, and what we are doing, is we are taking them out of the cabinets and placing them on the wall so there's air movement to at least help with the mechanical failure. The other thing that they did was they added 5 big fans onto the roof to take some of that hot air out of the hot side. This is what they call it. They have a hot side and a cold side. And they're sucking the air out, right? Hot air rises, so they're just trying to pull it out as quickly as they can. And so what we had to do is we had to go in and set new panels, and we're refeeding all of these thank you, Pips. Okay. Fixed. We had to refeed the VFDs and then rerun the wires to the exhaust fans. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to shut all of it down and rewire it. We're doing like a bank at a time, which is six to 8 exhaust fans plus one of the rooftop fans. It's crazy. Richie, what's up, man? But the room itself, like yesterday was a pretty cool morning because it had rained the night before. So I did set that dang beacon way too far away. It's fine. It's fine. I do have more. Yes, I'm prepared. I made a total of 5 for what we're doing, and I can easily enchant more just running up there to the villagers and grab more books and stuff. So yesterday at a cold start, or a cooler start, jeez. It was still 35 degrees Celsius in this room. At the peak heat times, it's sitting at over 45 degrees Celsius, and we are working in this room, in this heat. Now, when we shut a bank off, there's so much air movement and so much air pressure that the fans actually end up spinning backwards because it's just sucking in so much air to where we've got to put up like plywood or some kind of particle board or something to stop the fans from moving. It's absolutely insane. I'm saving all the dirt. Oh yeah. Yeah, it does create a negative pressure. They've really got to look into it. I asked the guy yesterday why they don't just put up crack units, considering the plant used to manufacture computer chips. They have all the things. They should have all the things that they need to make their operation better and even bigger. But you know, it is what it is. So we didn't know about the boards and things yesterday. And we had changed over 6 of their fans, which of course were all spinning backwards. So to get them to spin the right way, all you have to do is go in the VFD. You can go into the programming and change it to spin reverse of the way it is currently spinning, or you can take 2 of your wires, your phases, and swap them, and that will reverse your rotation and cause your motor to spin another direction. Well, we're trying to get these fans to spin when they're spinning in the opposite direction, and it's literally just negative air pressure that is moving these. And when you try to bump them back the other way, it just overloads the motor, tripping out the VFD, which is what it's supposed to do. Those are not only designed for, motor controls, but they are designed for a added layer of protection for motors as well, to not burn up and whatnot. So we got it all working, but city utilities had shut down power to rebalance the grid over where this place is, and when they when that happens, they have to do what is called load shedding. So when you lose power to a very big building, or like they use their power 24/7. Nothing shuts off. They're always mining Bitcoins, right? However that works, I don't know. So they have to load shed. If they were to get the power restored and then just turn the main on with everything else turned on, it's going to trip the main out. It's too much of an inrush current So they've got to turn everything off and then turn everything back on one at a time, which is a pain, absolutely, but it is what it is. So when they were cycling everything back on, one of their breakers wouldn't come back on, 800 amp breaker. So of course, we were going in shutdown mode and gonna swap over some of those VFDs and stuff yesterday, but we had to mess with a breaker. Oh, it took us, what, a couple hours messing with the breaker to kind of verify that, yes, the breaker itself is bad, or was bad. I am doing a ventilation system for a crypto mine, yes. A very janky ventilation system for a crypto mine. I remember, so there's two sides to this. There's, one side used to be 3G and the other was CPS. But CPS then ended up buying all of it, but then they sold it. I don't know all the details. The guy was kind of telling me some of the details yesterday, and I just tried to listen, but he was giving me answers, but with not a lot of, like, details, if that makes sense. So, on the other side, the company I work for actually built the original, like, building and the racks and all the power and transformers and cabinets and gear lineup and all that stuff. And I remember when that thing first fired up, they had huge problems with power. They had huge problems with things tripping out. They've blown up I don't know how many transformers. And then because of the sheer heat, they were just swapping miners out. You know, like all the time. And apparently the little miners that they use are like $5,000 a pop. And they're just swap this one out and throw it in the trash. Swap this one out and throw it in the trash. I was like, my goodness, you guys should come up with a better system. And the one guy at the time told me that running an AC unit, a crack unit, that's what it is. Crack is an acronym for, what is it, cold something AC. Then there's a cray unit, because instead of air conditioner, it's an air handler. But anyway, I'm not a HVAC guy, so I don't know. I know it's an acronym, though. But yeah, he said to offset the cost of running that versus what they were making in cryptocurrency was not viable. To me, it is very wasteful. They're running these miners at full tilt, you know, full tilt boogie for all the time. For what? I would love to see their profit to cost ratio. Uses a ton of power. Ton of power. And that's what the guy said when I asked him yesterday. I was like, isn't Bitcoin way down? Like, you guys are still operational? And he said, oh yeah, we just gotta ride out the storm. You know, as long as we can keep the power on, we will make money. A lot of things are bad for the environment that people assume are good for the environment, right? So you're talking about a huge use of electricity being bad for the environment. What do you think that these EVs are doing to our environment? So I agree in the sense that we do need to move away from fossil fuels, but have you guys ever seen a lithium strip mine? So a lithium strip mine is what they have to make in order to mine the lithium to make the batteries for the electric vehicles. If you don't have to take my word for it, please don't, as a matter of fact. Go to Google and look up a lithium strip mine and see what it looks like. There's a reason why there aren't any lithium strip mines in the United States. There's a reason that most lithium mines are in what is considered a third world country. I don't like that terminology, so I use it very loosely when I explain this. I agree that we need to go away from fossil fuels and, you know, coal and petrol and those types of things. But we don't have a good system in place to replace the fossil fuels. I have seen, we are starting to see a huge demand for electricity and not the same for, like, making electricity, right? Another one of those not actually good for the environment things is a lot of vegan food production. Interesting. I'll have to actually look that up. I've got a theory, and this is going to be way off topic, and it is probably a very unpopular opinion here, or unpopular thought. I think to a lot of people being vegan is a fad. Like it's just what's hip, it's what's in, it's what's now. There are people, yes, that do not believe in the killing of animals for a food source and stuff like that. I get that, but I think a lot of people are just doing it to, hey, look at me, look what I'm doing. But my theory is, aren't plants living organisms? So just because they don't have a face or a mouth makes it okay? Just a question. I don't know. Almond milk is far worse for the environment than dairy farming. Like, sure, a lot of people can't have dairy, but so many people have it because they think it's the better choice. Yeah, I am one of those people that cannot have dairy, and I hate it because I didn't become lactose intolerant until I was like 24, 25, somewhere in there. I think ultimately the environmental is too many humans. That is the correct answer, my friend. That is the correct. We are the only species on the planet that if we went extinct tomorrow, this planet would thrive. The only species. Yep. And so humans are so egotistical in their thought process, which cracks me up when there's a lot of argument in the world today about the impact that we are having on the environment as a species. And that's why we're moving to electric vehicles, and we're trying to go away from coal generation for power, and we're trying to do all these things to save the environment because we're killing the planet. No, we're not killing the planet. We are simply making it uninhabitable for our species. That's it. That's it. That's all we're doing. You know, I know this is silly, but Jeff Goldblum said it best in Jurassic Park, life will find a way. It always does. There is, God, I hate that. I hate that my beacon doesn't reach this far. Go to, like, Chernobyl. Research Chernobyl. There's growth, there's plant life, there's animal life in Chernobyl where humans can't set foot in that place. But there's still life. Back to work, bud. Alright, man. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping in. I was saying that to someone else the other day. I was talking about climate change, get rid of us, and things would more or less fix themselves. Look at what happened when we had the lockdowns, right? When 90% of the population went home and stayed home. Look at pollution. Look at these countries that were just a mass fog over their country. And then after, humans just kind of chilling for a little while. It's a real thing. Anyway, back to the electric vehicles and stuff. So we're driving out coal energy because it's, you know, bad, right? But we're pushing everybody to electric cars. There are states right now, like California, no offense to Californians, but they're doing things backwards like they always do. This isn't, again, that is not directed towards the people of California. That is directed towards the politicians of California, where they're pushing electric vehicles and a fossil fuel, you know, get rid of fossil fuels by a certain date. It's hotter than hot. People are running their air conditioners, people are running their electric vehicles, and now they are asking people to stop running their ACs at certain times of the day, and they are asking people to only charge on certain days. We are going to go to, not necessarily sanctioned times, but similar to how it is in Colorado right now with watering. You can only water a couple of times a week. We're going to go to that with charging of vehicles and being able to use your power and stuff if we keep going down the path that we're going. Our government is literally only looking at the end of their nose and no further when it comes to this problem. And that's just my thought. We can't stop production of electricity and then make everything... Whoops, I do not want... Make everybody dependent upon the power. It's a good idea, but I don't think its practical usage is there. Electric vehicles are one of those rich people solutions. Better public yes, absolutely. Better public transportation would solve a lot of issues for people living in major cities. You know, if we had a better bus system, then people could pile in on buses instead of taking individual vehicles, and that would cut down on pollution by a lot. That would also cut down on traffic by a lot. You know, solving some of those issues. Solving, what the hell is that issue called? Oh my god. Civil engineering. It would solve some civil engineering problems. You know, right now they're doing huge construction work on the main interstate through where I live, and they're widening it out. Widening it out is not going to solve the problem. It's just not. Because people are the problem. I'm going to need to make chesticles for just wood, or just cobblestone. It's 8 chesticles, 16 chesticles. So let's do cobblestone chests. I'm probably not going to keep all the cobblestone. That's alright. And there is a pretty viable solution for the power problems in the world, and nobody wants to hear it, nobody wants to do it, because it's a bit taboo. I don't drive or have a car, but the public transport where I live is awful. Petrol and diesel are byproducts. What will we do with this stuff when we don't have fossil fuel cars? Burn it? So that brings me to a good point before I go back to what I was just talking about, which I can't remember now. Anyway, doesn't matter. Have you guys seen what happens to a wind turbine when the blades fail? Typically what happens is they replace the fan blades. Does anybody know where the fan blades go when they get replaced? I'm going to definitely... I think I'm going to set the beacon up right here. Yeah, let's move the beacon. That's too far away. So the fan blades on a wind turbine are made out of fiberglass, which is not a naturally occurring material. It's not a material that breaks down easy. It's very hard to dispose of. And as a matter of fact, the wind turbine blades, if you drive on the eastern side of Colorado, northeastern side, or you drive in some of these states like Nebraska, Kansas, eastern Wyoming, there's fan blades just sitting in piles in fields. And there was talks with the Wyoming government about taking those fan blades to Wyoming and burying them because there's no real way to dispose of them. So everybody wants this wind and solar energy, and that's what we have. We have more waste. And the biggest problem with wind and solar energy is obviously, you know, the big argument that you'll see is people will say, well, the wind doesn't blow and the sun's not always out, which is correct. We are at the point where our wind turbines and our solar panels do generate a lot of electricity rather efficiently, which is great. The technology has gone a long way since it was first introduced. The problem that we have is storage. We cannot store large amounts of electricity generated by solar and wind energy for long periods of time. We just don't have the technology. I'm sure we'll get there. But we're putting the cart in front of the horse, is my opinion. This has nothing to do with me. Paying for gas right now is outrageous. You know, I would love to move away from things, but I don't think electric vehicles are the right move. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a construction worker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I play Minecraft. Jeez, man. Yeah, it's not about being right though. Not in this sense. I'm kind of bitter. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at my politicians and my country in general. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's just a lot of sad state of affairs, which I actually voiced my opinion, my concern about the Roe versus Wade turnover not too long ago, and that's probably the first time I've ever stated an opinion on the Twitter things. As most of the time I like to keep this stuff to the video games, you know. And you do have to be prepared for potential backlash when stating your opinion online, which is fine. I'm more than always prepared. But I didn't really receive any. I just was ready just in case. Yeah. Guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to go get a piece of iron, or an emerald, or a diamond. Let's go. I heard some interesting things about hydrogen in the cars. Imagine storing it wouldn't be easy. The problem with hydrogen is it's volatile, right? When the byproduct of burning hydrogen is water, and hydrogen is almost a infinite resource, right? It's not finite. So it is a great idea, and I actually did a paper in school about it. That hydrogen would be a very, very good way to do it. And we have the technology. The problem is the big oil companies buy up all the rights to this stuff. Like biodiesel was a thing for a while, right? People burning cooking oil, used cooking oil from places like McDonald's instead of them just throwing it away. There it is. So it was a great idea, but then all of a sudden that was just gone. But yeah, hydrogen is volatile. So if you were to get in a car wreck, the chances of things go boom is significantly increased versus gasoline or diesel burning vehicles, I think, is one of the things. But we literally have the technology to separate, you know, water, H2O. You can literally get your hydrogen. You could take water and separate the hydrogen and the 2 parts oxygen and burn both the oxygen and the hydrogen for fuel. The technology's there. Local member of parliament voted to allow pesticide that killed bees because her husband owns British sugar and make tons of money. Gotta love those politicians. I know, man. Bees are the one thing that if they went extinct, a lot of things would go bye-bye. Including our species. Hey, Eric, you're just in time. Riveting conversation. No, I feel very passionate about that topic just because as an electrician and knowing what I know about my industry, like these people aren't paying attention to what we have to say. the people that mess with this stuff day in and day out. And I've been saying it since the push of the electric vehicles, like, this isn't a great idea. Not where or how we are doing it. People hate experts. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I think if you're going to train up a bunch of people in a specific area or field, you should probably listen to them. You know? Tis joined. Lag. There's always lag when somebody joins the server for a minute. Yeah, and that was the craziest thing about the whole pandemic, COVID lockdowns and stuff that were somewhat touched on in this topic of conversation, which we are going to move away from very soon. I told my kids to pay attention to what is happening because it was very important. Not necessarily the pandemic side of things, but the work side of things, right? Because I don't know about... I will get to my plan in just a second, Woden. I will answer your question momentarily. What I was telling my kids to pay attention to is the people that were still working. I don't know everybody's situation, but I know my situation, and I worked. I didn't get a day off. As a matter of fact, I worked more during the pandemic than like now, where we're kind of just in a holding pattern. Work's a little slow. Now, work's slow for different reasons, but the pandemic, I was busy. And I was busy because the demand for electricity was still there. The demand for indoor plumbing is still there. The demand for your internet is still there. The demand for, a lot of things was still there. And so that's what I was telling my kids to pay attention to is, you look at the professional athletes, they went home and sat at home, and yeah, some people were upset because they didn't have their sports. Good morning, Juliana. They were upset that they didn't have their sports. But could you imagine if people didn't have power? Didn't have internet? Yep. And then they gave us a fancy title and fancy label, and they called us essential, which just meant that we were expendable and go to work and keep running this country. It showed that the trades, the people, the trash collectors, the electricians, the plumbers, the nurses, the police, the firefighters, we are the backbone of this country and is what keeps this place moving, not the politicians, not the athletes. And that's what I wanted my kids to see and understand, that when picking a career path moving forward, it's good to have something that is in demand. And being specialized like I am, I'm not really specialized. I make the joke. The joke is from a AAA battery to a lightning bolt, I do it all when it comes to electricity. Which is more or less true. But I told him to pay attention, man. So we'll see. We'll see if my kids heeded my advice or not. Of course, I never listened to my old man, but, to each their own. I was a non-essential retail, but my ex-husband, who I lived with at the time, fitted in service fire and security systems, so he worked the whole time. Yep. That is exactly right. So to answer your question, Woden, going back, yep, like Pip said, we're going to change the island. We're going to kind of divide it in half. And the mud, ooh, can I, please let me up, I want on my farm. I can do this, I promise. Hi. Hey, mushroom cows. We'll just do it up here. So this is kind of the dividing line. And what I'm going to do is this side is going to be all mud. This is going to be all mud, and then we're going to kind of integrate some things into that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking some basalt, maybe some soul soil. I don't know. Still working that out. On this side, we're going to transform it into this lush green grass, and then I'm probably going to put moss in specific locations and then bone meal the moss to spread it around a little bit and kind of customize this biome and this biome. This biome over here is what I'm more interested in working on. You know, this is going to have a, we talked about it a long time ago, Musherman's main base of operation. And that's kind of it. Maybe some other builds. But this side of the island is going to be spooky. Yep. I've got some plans to build some things and some trees and some stuff and some places. And I think it's going to be fun. Yep. Boop. That's the plan anyway. That is the plan. And it's... Zenfor. It is a big island. Welcome. It is a big island. It is going to be a lot of work, and it gives me an excuse to do, gives me an excuse to do things for stream. It's been, so this would be, what, week 2 consecutively? Week 3 consecutively that we've streamed. I haven't done that in a while because of work and vacations and stuff like that. And the other deciding factor for streaming was not really having an idea of a project, you know. I fully believe that doing grind stuff is better done on a stream, a live stream, rather than trying to fit this in a video. Right? It's just my opinion. I think it's better suited for live streams. Not saying that we have to do this, but, you know. So now that I've got my my wits about me, more or less, when it comes to... I've held off on this project, if we're being perfectly honest, because it is a big one. It is a huge undertaking to swap out all of the things and getting the grass versus mycelium on that side. Digging up this side and putting in mud is going to be quite an interesting task in itself. I've kind of been putting it off, but I've figured what better time than now to get back in the groove and do it. I almost fell asleep without playing or recording or streaming. Yeah. Sometimes it is like methodic, not methodic, what's the word I'm looking, hypnotic and therapeutic. And as far as the like keeping of stuff, I'm a hoarder in this game, so I'm not gonna throw it all away. The cobblestone, though, I may get rid of. Like, I have so much cobblestone from digging out the the main base. You know, back when we were working on that we may get rid of it. The dirt, well, you know, there's a couple of things that we can do with it. We need to turn a lot of it into mud to accompany this side. We're going to need to turn some of it into grass for this side, and then the rest, you know, there's a whole Humble Hills district, and maybe we can get rich selling dirt to the humble people so that we can become humble ourselves. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'll burn it like I burned all my diamonds. Burning my diamonds was so worth it, though, because they came through. Let's see. A friend of mine did a coal area on our realm where he made what we call a goth house, and he was heavily inspired by some stuff Cubfan did in Season 8 of Hermitcraft. Is that easiest to convert in large quantities? Convert what? Grass or the mud? Because the answer is really no to both. I have been playing around with mycelium versus grass and overtaking dirt and how it all kind of works. And what I've found is there's not a good way to destroy the mycelium. So if we outline an area, and the test patch was this patch right here, and I've got another test patch here. If we are to make a line of grass where all these blocks that my cursor is on were grass, and then put dirt in the middle, the mycelium will not spread over the grass. If this was a dirt block, this will spread catty corner to Jesus. Fuzzy hobos. I love it. Why is he fuzzy? I have a mud block converter. Didn't you? You guys don't watch my episodes? Look. Mud. See? We stand here, thank you, Zen4. Mud. 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 And all I have to do is hold down right click. I've even got a system where it will automatically dispense dirt to me and to make of the mud. See? All water bottles are being converted. Here, we'll turn it on. Switch on, button on, dirt. And all I have to do is sit here. Put a rubber band around my button. Mud, yeah. I'm basing on a mushroom island on my solo world. I have my villagers on one server. They're very useful, but the terrain is awful and mycelium is a huge pain. It is. And then all I have to do is do that. And then when this gets tall enough, it will push it all, and we get mud. And I made this thing tall enough to where we can actually reach it. See, I can reach this block, but not this block. Yep. So I can stand on the ground and convert it. I made it in a video where I was kind of showing off my creative process of how I come to certain builds that aren't, you know, maybe the best way, and I don't go about it the best way, but it's my way of doing things. I just wanted to show it off. We ended up creating a mud farm in that video. My original idea was to use an old contraption I built in Season 2 of Truly Bedrock and use the water bottles gained from bartering with piglins to create a mud farm. And it's just not worth it. It's not worth the time and effort, and you get so little, you know, bottles. It's not very fast. That machine down there is much, much better. Though, there is a way that we could automatically make mud. There's a way to automatically make mud, destroy mud, and have it collected. We did find that out too. Must be very satisfying to harvest, but that sound, yeah, it is very noisy. That's why we left. We're doing pretty good though. We're an hour in. We're making progress. I think, you know, we'll get this part of, we'll get this part done probably today. And then we'll go from there. That's not even that noisy. You should hear the Guardian farm when that thing's going and I'm repairing my tools. Though I don't need to use the Guardian farm to repair my stuff anymore. I can actually run over to the gigantic mob farm that we have because it's been fixed. It's been returned to its previous glory. Well, I've got 4 trident killers with pistons that just... it's loud. It's obnoxious. I think I did a clip for... Oops. The next video that we're doing over there. And I did turn my sound way down. So hopefully it turns out. I need to get back to recording that episode. I do got some projects to do today. So that's the first and foremost. But what else? What else do I got wrote down here on my little piece of paper? Yeah, that. We talked about that. We talked about that. We got way off topic on a lot of things. Oh, I'm passionate, man. I'm passionate about the state of the country and my fellow people. Not just Americans. I don't care where you're from. I believe that we are all one race, and that is a human race. And I don't give two tickled darns about that. Was well said. I tried to unconstruction that saying, but I don't care what you are, what you do. Don't care. People can be treated decently. We got this dude that walks around our neighborhood. He's an obvious drunk, and I've seen him passed out on the sidewalk by my house. I've seen him passed out, by the liquor store, those types of things. But the dude is a nice dude. He keeps to himself. He doesn't really bug people. Just a genuinely nice guy. There's no reason to get so fussy about dumb things. That's my point, I guess, in all of this. That's a lot of dirt. So I get real passionate about certain things, which is why I kind of got off topic with the whole state of the world. But I know, back to talking about streams and stuff, we are going to try to do this every weekend at least. And it just depends on how my recordings and stuff go. If we will be able to do one stream a weekend, which is more likely, or maybe two. Yeah. Man, that same dude was passed out. So we got this little 24-hour taco shop over here called Taco Salsa. It's one of those looks like a hole in the wall place, but has the best and closest to authentic Mexican food I think you can get in the United States. Awesome restaurant. I go there all the time. Zeta, good morning. How are you doing, my friend? I don't know if there's a stream weekend coming soon. There is, I'm sure. Groove is on vacation, so our planner, I know he put it up, but I cannot remember for the life of me when it is. Anyway, over at that restaurant, man, I seen the same dude we were just talking about, passed out. Just passed out. He wasn't hurting nobody. He was just chilling. And the cops were over there giving him some guff, trying to get him out of the area, which I understand. I understand why they were there. The business owner probably didn't want that guy sleeping on the side of their building while they're trying to operate. I get it. But it's like, come on, man. He ain't hurting nobody. Just leave him alone. Let the dude sleep. The cops, though, I have to say, here in my little town are not bad. I've had run-ins with them on multiple occasions because I have nosy neighbors. Used to have nosy neighbors, I should say. I think out of all the people on the block, yeah, it's just one set of neighbors are the only ones that are still here from when we first moved in. They were here before we moved in. They're the only OGs left. But yeah, outside of them, I used to have they're not the nosy neighbors. They're nice people. Used to have very nosy neighbors, and it's quite annoying. Yep. Ooh, that shovel's almost dead. That was a good catch. By me. So. I've had a couple run-ins with them. I had a neighbor, I guess it wasn't a neighbor, but the dude that used to live at the end of the street had a little bit of an issue with my kids riding bikes. Funny little story. They were just summertime, you know, just riding their bikes up and down the street, and they were getting a little close to the dude's car. So he called the police, which the cops come and told me as the parent that technically, because my kids' bikes are not this, that, and the other, that they are not actually legal to be riding on the street. They were missing, you know, headlight, taillight type thing. But also proceeded to say that seeing kids outside playing during the summer as opposed to sitting inside playing video games, he was not going to cite my kids. And told the other guy that if he didn't want my kids riding bikes around their vehicle, that they should park their vehicle in their driveway and not on a public street. Which I was very happy. Very happy to hear. Because the cops could have been kind of buttheads about it, but they weren't. Let's go ahead and take down this little mound and this little mound right here while we're in this area. Like, I know it connects to that, but we'll just dig this much of it out. Sure. Oh, so dying from the hardcore server really sucked, but as I said, I can get a little more focused on not only the build here on the Mushroom Island, or the builds, I should say, but I can get back to focusing on some of the other things I'm doing, because I've got, you know, I've got some Pokemon videos that I pulled off the channel and moved them to another channel. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. And I would really like to get back to finishing those. I just posted a video a couple weeks ago when I moved everything off the channel. And I've got another video that I'm working on. And then I've got some other plans. So I really want to get started on those. So that'll give me some time to dive into that stuff, which is good. There we go. That's good enough for now. Let's try to get the rest of this. This is a huge part. And I'm just flattening this out because, like, who was it? Was it Dragon that said it? Yeah, Dragon Flame said mycelium is a pain and the terrain is a little bit all over the place. For the most part, this is a fairly flat island, but, yeah. I want to flatten it even more. So in the realms of video game playing and Pokemon things, I've been grinding my butt off in the Legends Arceus, which I'm a little behind everybody else that's already played it and beat it and doing all the things. Me and Elvin have been having frequent conversations in my Discord over it. He's grinding some things out simultaneously as I'm grinding things out, and it's cool. It's cool to talk about. But I'm going for... What have I done? I've done all the side quests outside of the ones where you need save data from other games, because I don't have the other games, which I don't plan on getting the other games either. There we go. But I need to catch all the dudes to beat the final quest, and then of course there's a bunch more grinding to do. And back in the day, even as a young Zap, slightly smaller, hair less on fire, I've always been kind of a completionist when it comes to video games, right? I remember playing, like, the old Final Fantasies. at a young age, I enjoyed grinding on those games. But the thing that I would always do, and more or less for bragging rights, was complete the game. Finish it out. Do everything that you could do. Grind, you know, your characters to level 100 and find all the different items that can be found. I mean, it'll be nice to get the base done. Yes. Let's get rid of these. I just can't wait to start. You know, we've been doing farm. That's everything we've done. We did ink farm, mob farm, iron farm, guardian farm, mud farm. I want to get this area done and do some builds. Like, my base is done. It's where I wanted it. So, Final Fantasy, WOTL. Anyway, yeah, I fell in love with a Final Fantasy game on Super Nintendo back in the day, and I ended up buying it, and I wish I still had it, because it would be worth some money. But I don't. But I beat it, and I did complete it. And I completed everything that I could. And of course, that was back in the day before, you know, internet and accessibility to guides and walkthroughs and stuff like that, where you kind of got to struggle through your way. Final Fantasy VII on PS1 was my favorite game ever. That's most people's favorite Final Fantasy. It is my third favorite Final Fantasy. War of the Lions. Oh no, I've never played that. So my whole point is, I've been a completionist at heart, where I like to complete games. All the games that I've ever really played, like Skyrim, Red Dead Redemption 2, Dragon Age, all three Dragon Ages, I've beat 100%. I mean, I have Final Fantasy VI here that I bought but haven't finished. Which Final Fantasy VI do you have? What is the hardware that it plays on? Because there is Final Fantasy VI for the PlayStation 1. There is Final Fantasy VI for the Game Boy Advance. There is a mobile version, an old mobile version. There is a new mobile version. And Final Fantasy VI is the game that was called Final Fantasy III on Super Nintendo. It's a remake on Steam. Okay. It is the newest remake then. Yep. It's the one that they just did. They just released. They actually took the old version off of the Play Store and replaced it with that one. That is my favorite. That is my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time. Great story, great character, plot. Love it, love it. Yeah, it was originally Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo. When they ported it to the PS1, they added like a cutscene. And then when they ported it to the Game Boy Advance, they added a new like dungeon. Couple of dungeons. They added a new dungeon where you can fight all of these dragons to get everybody's like master weapons. And then they added another dungeon where you fight like 110 or 100 and something bosses in a row, with a rest every 10 fights. But you can't leave the area, and then you get... It's like Pokemon, where you get a crown at the end, and that is it. It's a key item that you can do nothing with, other than show your friends for bragging rights. One sec. Okay, so you're an hour into it, so you've made it through the first stages of, yeah, I just had to go take care of something real quick. I just had to walk away. I said, hold on. 1 sec. I just had to step off for a sec. New monk guy. Okay, so you got Locke. Locke Cole. He's a thief. Yep, you're in Narshi, or Narsh. I called it Narshi. I pronounced the E's when I was a kid, man. So you've got, and then you've got the guy's brother, which is Edgar, the king. He's a thief. Not necessarily a monk in that game. They're all OP. So when you get to the Returner's hideout. Oh, Edgar's brother, so Sabin. Okay, have you gone to the Returner's hideout yet and met the dude with the big beard on his face? God, Bannon. Bannon is his name, I believe. I'm getting a lots of copper. Black Knight. Yeah, those are different classes. Anyway, when you get to Bannon with Tara, Locke, Sabin, and Edgar... Okay, when he asks you to join the Resistance, or to join the Returners, deny him 3 times. So what's going to end up happening, this is just a little trick for you. If you say yes right away, he'll give you a gauntlet, which is a relic item that you can equip to your character, and it allows, it basically you hold a one-handed weapon with 2 hands and it does more damage. If you deny him, he gives you another item, and I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head. But it allows you to dual-wield swords. And it is a beautiful relic for old Locke, especially when getting a couple of different weapons for him later. Because, honestly, he is a weaker character. Typical... the strongest weapon is the Atma weapon in that game, because it grows with your character. As your character levels up, it levels up. But anyway, a typical traditional thief class, he is hard to work with, but he does become very OP very quickly. He's my absolute favorite character. My old Minecraft skin for Java was him. But yeah, there's other weapons there though. Like Locke, I believe, has the Lightbringer, which you can get in the Dragon's Den later on, towards the end of the game. I think you can get one in the World of Ruin, but I don't remember. Now, it's a great game, man, and going through the World of Balance and then Kefka's stuff and fights. I will tell you this, you do need to balance your characters as you play through that game. Just as another little tip, I'm not going to give away too much. Balance your characters out, because there are going to be situations where you have to use more than your traditional party of 4. Oh, are you going to despawn if I fly away? Please don't despawn. Yeah, there is a ninja in the game, Shadow. You haven't met him yet. You will, though. What was I doing? Oh yeah, lightning. Was that all the lightning, though? Is it over? Man, that's like the second time that's happened. We should keep that on us. There is a point in the game where how do I tell you this without giving away too much? There's a point in the game where you're going to be at an area where you have the option to wait for a party member or leave without them. Wait. It is a countdown, like there's a clock counting down, and it's a little bit anxious. It made me anxious. But if you don't wait, you will never be able to get that member again. And he's pretty strong. You can beat the game without them, but again, completionist. I found all this out when I was a kid, without the internet, without the use of guides, and I can literally walk you through this game, through that game, right now. Still my favorite, but oh, I was talking to Zeta's playthrough, but where I was going with this whole conversation was I'm a completionist at heart, right? So in Legends Arceus, I'm going to complete the game in its entirety, meaning I'm going to perfect everyone's dex entry. I'm going to get the shiny charm. I am going to go as far as I possibly can. I did say, and I have said, that I don't feel like I was gonna hunt down a shiny dex. How's the game audio? Is it too loud? In comparison? Anyway, I'm probably gonna do a shiny dex too because I can't help myself. Music is a bit loud. Let's turn that down. Let's turn it down like right there. It seemed a bit loud on my end. Anyway, and so what I've been doing is I've literally been in the first area of the game just grinding out, oh no. Doesn't quite reach this bar. Grinding out dex entries whilst also I decided to hunt a shiny Eevee, but not just one. A lot of them. And that has been probably the dumbest thing I've ever decided to do. I'm like 16 hours into that adventure and I've stopped because Eevee is a very rare spawn. It's a 1 in 1,000 chance right now to find a shiny. I want to find 8 shinies and I haven't found one in 16 hours. So start doing some basic math and realize that it's going to take me an exorbitant amount of time to do it. So I'm just going to collect all the dudes and get all their dex entries, and this way I can get the shiny charm, and we'll go from there. Yeah. But I did happen, so there's a few things I've learned about the game for any of those interested. Massive mass outbreaks were a thing, or are a thing, and you can actually see what the massive mass outbreaks are by giving Mai's or Mai? M-A-I? I think that's Mai. Giving her Munchlax some agave berries, or guave berries, whatever they are. They start with an A, they're green. And those berries are not easy to come by throughout your playing in the game when they're introducing the different mechanics and stuff to you in game. That is 2 double chests of cobblestone. Let's go craft this into this and then grab this. They kind of give you a bunch of those berries and stuff to make your life easier. So through the power of the old interwebs, I was looking up how to get those berries easier. And they say, oh, well, you can harvest them at the Jubilife. You can pay the guy 10 grand to harvest the berries, which is untrue. You have to pay the guy 20 grand. We should probably go fix our pickaxe. Maybe? How much time are we at? Well, yeah. Let me collect all of this stuff. Let me try to mine out all of the dirt that I can from this last little bit, and then we'll go repair our pickaxe and then mine the rest of the stone. So, Legends is worth it if you like Pokemon games. The least favorite generation of mine is Gen 4, and this is loosely based on Generation 4. Loosely, it's based on Gen 4. I love this game. I don't like Platinum, Pearl, Diamond that much, but I do like this game a lot. And I hope it's not one of those things that Game Freak just did and then decides, like Mega Evolutions or Z Moves or any of that stuff. Dynamax. Yep. I hope they do more with more regions, more stuff. There's so much they could do. But it is a good game. It is definitely worth it. I'm glad I bought it. Because, for the most part, I play it like at work. Not at work, but when I'm on lunch and breaks and early in the morning before work has started, I'll play it. Guardian Farm. Come on. Yep. So I'm going through and that's what we were talking about, the massive mass outbreaks, right? So the agave berries or whatever they are, I paid the guy the 20 grand to do the special berry harvest, and all I got from it was like, it's gonna get loud, it's gonna get noisy, it's gonna get annoying. Yeah, that's pretty low on the old decibel scale. All I ended up getting from the guy was like two berries. So in the massive mass outbreaks, when you have Munchlax show you what they are, there'll be a circle with the Pokemon that can be found. And if there's a little red or orange little berry at the top, bouncing of that circle, that is, if you catch or kill those Mons, you can get agave berries, and that is the best way to do it. Hello, Spider. Excuse me, where the heck did you come from? I think I'm having spawning issues. Which I hate. I hate this about Bedrock, that this structure is not supposed to spawn anything outside of Guardians. Then if it's got like a little star above it where the berry icon is, that means it is a secondary wave is going to spawn of that Pokemon, either its evolved form or alphas will spawn. I've learned some things. I've learned that in the Obsidian Fieldlands there are 4 locations in which Eevee can spawn in the Horseshoe Plains, and it is rare. Let's just kind of hang out for a sec, take a drink. I know, and that is not a zero, that might be over there, but I've seen mob spawn here and here, which is weird, because I don't see them spawn like here, or right there, or over there. When I laid this thing out, man, nothing spawned, so I don't know. Might just have to throw in a few more sea lanterns. It's not like I don't have any. But I did quit my quest of finding a shiny Eevee. Because it's just going to be a pain. If I get the shiny charm, I think it drops my odds to like 1 in 150, something like that. So that's a route that we're gonna take. But I am going back and forth between the Alabaster Icelands and the Obsidian Fieldlands, because the Icelands also have 3 or 4 spots that EVs naturally spawn in, and I didn't find that out on the internet. Like, the internet told me that Oh yeah, Eevee spawns in 10 different locations, and then one page says, no, it only spawns in 1, and then another one says, oh, it spawns in 3. Through testing and running around for a long time, I figured this stuff out. EVs do not spawn in mass outbreaks. They only spawn in mass outbreaks, which I have only seen one in my 75 hours of playing. So, come on, Guardians. Thank you. So yeah, we took a break from that, but I did go to the Alabaster Icelands because there was a mass outbreak, and what am I trying to get? A shiny Bidoof. I've completed its Pokedex page. I've done like 10 different outbreaks with the Bidoof and still haven't found a shiny, which is really weird. I should have already found one. But I'm kind of hunting other outbreaks as I do things. I'm not just grinding. Like right now I'm working on Samurot's dex entries, right? But whilst I'm doing that, I'm doing other things like Ponyta's dex entry, where you have to kill 10 of them using water moves. You have to defeat so many of certain Pokemon. So I'm going around and doing all of that as well. So as I roll to these different Pokemon, some of their stuff is already completed. And some Pokemon I just haven't caught, right? So when I was in the Icelands, there was an outbreak of Rufflet. So I figured, we'll go do the outbreak. I need a couple of things to complete the dex entry for Rufflet. There was a Bidoof outbreak, so I went and did the Bidoof outbreak as well. And there was some Magby outbreaks with some berries at it, so I was going to go do that too. Well, when I went down to the Rufflet outbreak, I found a shiny Braviary. It was in there immediately, and that was super awesome. I'm super happy about that. Disappointed that I didn't find a shiny Rufflet, but happy nonetheless. The same thing happened with Zoroark? Yeah. I found the evolved form shiny, but not the underform, even though I've completed both dex entries. Yep. So my shiny collection is insane right now. During the Magby outbreak, I found a shiny Magmar, which is neat. Downloads. So I am sitting at, of course, the Rapidash, the Ponyta that they give you 2 Hippowdons, 1 male, 1 female. Gyarados, Beautifly, Togetic, Infernape. The Zoroark. Right now I've got an Ursaring. I actually lost my Peat Block. Gliscor, which is my first shiny alpha. The Ursaring is my second shiny alpha. I've got an Alakazam. I've got a Crobat, Braviary, Magmar, and an Unknown. Shiny Unknown. What am I going to do with a shiny Unknown? Yep. So the shiny collection is growing as we're doing all the things. It's so much fun because of how the shiny odds are. And back in the day when I first played Pokemon, obviously the only shiny I ever really found in Gen 2 was the Gyarados. Like everybody. But I started thinking back, to shinies and all the things that I've found. My last video I uploaded on the other channel for Pokemon stuff was Sunkern, running Sunkern through Fire Red. I found a 1 in 8,000 shiny Rattata. It's pretty neat. Still got the save file. This right here is my favorite place on the server to stand. Looks like I'm having some issues, though. Guardians are... Hello. Hi. Guardians are not spawning as they normally would. Stupid zombie. We did update, right? We did update to 1.19. So maybe things have changed a little bit with spawning. Before the update, this place was golden. The mobs spawned great. And it seems like this thing has slowed way down. Yeah, there's a couple of dark spots. Still works pretty good, but it could be. It's Bedrock. What's Bedrock without a few bugs? A lot of bugs. But no, back to the shiny thing. I think the whole reason that I was going after the Eevee was thinking back. I saw a post on Reddit. I post my shinies on a Reddit page. Have very little guardians spawning. And maybe I'm just standing. They're still spawning. I might have to go AFK at this thing for a little while and see. The last time I had this issue, the guardians were like getting pushed out. Shut it down, shut it down. Easy, bud. That is true. That is one of the splash texts. Last time I had an issue, though. I had guardians getting pushed out into this area. Doesn't look like I have that issue anymore. And I may need to do some spawn proofing around kind of where I am. Would probably help. I could drain the monument. Like, around the monument. Oh, that would be a project. But no, what started me on my path to hunting the shiny Eevees is... Back in the day, I actually completed the Pokedex for Gen 1 and Gen 2. I played a lot of Pokemon. There's actually a bunch of videos and stuff on the internet if you go look, if you want to go look, about people talking about... let's see, that goes there, that's there, that's there, that's fine, that's good, good, everything's back. Talking about... They used to do events, and the way they would do these events is if you went to the events, then you could get Pokemon like Celebi, you could get Pokemon like Mew, and it was the only way to get them legit. There's actually a way to get Mew with RNG manipulation in Gen 1, which is cool. But people talk about this on the internet about cartridges from these events, because that's what they would do, right? You would go hook your Game Boy up to a link cable area. There would be trading stations, and then you could get your Mew and whatever have you in that fashion. The talk is people talk about finding those cartridges, unlicensed cartridges from Game Freak and Nintendo. Now, I don't know anything about that. The legitimacy, or if it's even a real thing. I think it is, because of the story that I'm currently telling you. Oh, come on. Give me beacon. Beacon, 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 beacon. Got it. So... Back in the day, I used to have a buddy that I would go hang out with pretty regularly, and he had, of course, some Pokemon games, and in his room we would play the Pokemon games. I'm choking on my spit. Anyway, oof. Need to get a drink. I am choking. Oh, there we go. So he had in his room set up a cool little area. He had this pretty huge closet where he had like a beanbag set up, and that was our chill spot. We would hang out, sit on the beanbag, play games. Back in those days, it was not only Pokemon that we played a lot of, but Command and Conquer was a game that we played a lot of. So yeah, I was playing Command and Conquer. He was sitting in there playing Pokemon, doing his thing, and he would let me play. He had both, all the versions, red and blue. I believe were the only two out at the time. Yellow wasn't quite out yet. But I remember one weekend I went back to his house and he was like, dude, I lost my game. Lost everything on the game, couldn't find the cartridge, all those things. And went on like that for a few weeks until one day we decided to clean his room because his mom was yelling at us. So we went and cleaned his room. We cleaned out the closet, and in cleaning out the closet, we actually found that cartridge. It was just laying under a bunch of stuff. It must have, I think he had taken it out to play the other game, must have put it in his pocket, and there she was sitting on the floor. So his mom had already replaced his lost copy with another copy, because, some kids are just lucky. So he actually gave me that version, and that's how I got my first version of Pokemon. And I played it on a very old gray brick Game Boy. A lot of fun. Now, fast forward a little while, and I didn't really see that friend anymore. There was some issues, not on my end or his end, on my mother's end, that prevented me from pretty much going anywhere outside of where we lived that wasn't within walking distance. And ended up having a new buddy that moved across the hall in the apartment we lived in. His mom used to work her tail off, 2 jobs and those kinds of things, and giving this kid everything that he could ever want. This dude had Nintendos, PlayStations. I mean, he had every Nintendo from the NES all the way up to 64. He had PS1, PS2, Dreamcast. He had the works. It's a cool friend to have. But the same thing. He had the different versions of Pokemon. He had red, he had blue. His mom bought him yellow when it came out. And we decided between the 3 versions and the 2 Game Boys that we were going to get all the Mons. Which was great until we heard the rumor about Mew. Right? Can't catch them all if you, don't have them all. Anyway, the little brother of my friend was getting interested in playing the games as well, so his mom decided to buy him a game, and that is a lot of work. That is a lot of a mountain. So instead of buying the brand new game and paying the money for it, because at that time, Pokemon took off. Everything was all about Mons and playing and all of the things. But instead of buying the kid like a brand new version, she bought him a used version. I think we're gonna go like right here. We're gonna have to move the beacon. But I think this is a good line, another line to draw. Break this thing up. So she went to the pawn shop to get this kid a version, and of course, in typical child fashion, he played it, a little bit, and then was like, this is dumb, and went back to Power Rangers and things that he liked. So my buddy scooped up his game and decided, no, what was it? The kid hadn't even played the game, that's what it was. My buddy scooped it up, and we were both very curious, let's see what the dude has before we give it to the brother. Let's see what the dude had that owned it before us, and we'll trade off his Mons. And we'll go from there. That's a brilliant idea. So we hooked up the game to the Game Boy and we turned it on, and every single box, all the mons in the party were Mew. It's kind of a weird find. But yeah, I remember looking at it going, oh my goodness, you know, this is the dude that we didn't know how to get, and there was nothing. Again, the internet was a thing, but not as readily available as it is in this day and age. And so we hooked up the link cable in the two Game Boys, man. We sat trading. So I ended up, what was it, my biological mother got pretty upset with me over something one time. I didn't eat the fruit that she put in my lunch or something like that, and I was playing my Game Boy instead of listening to her, and she slammed that thing up against the wall and it shattered into 100 pieces. Devastating, by the way. Very devastating. So I ended up wheeling and dealing over the course of the next few months and got my hands on a Game Boy Color. It took me a while, but I still had the game, and the game still had all the save data and whatnot on it. And then I ended up trading something to get my hands on Gen 2, because Gen 2 had come out at this point. Where do I pick up the beacon effect? Hello. Hi. Shouldn't have fallen in the hole, my friend. You're gonna get smacked. You're gonna get smacked with the shovel. Anyway, played through Gen 2 quite a bit. Got pulled into foster care. I've talked quite a bit about that before. And some of the only things that I really had on my person is what I had. You know, I had my Game Boy, I had my game, I had the clothes on my back, the glasses on my face, and the hat on my head. That was it. That's what I came with. That's all I had. Geez, inventory management. Oh yeah, that's a big portion of the island. Anyway, so got back into playing. I think I restarted the game and had a buddy that had a Game Boy and a link cable and all that stuff. So we started playing through and, you know, just grinding out the game. I'll throw the beef away. So I'm working on, like I said, completionist type stuff, right? I want a full dex. So I'm working on that. A buddy of mine found out, you know, that I was playing, and he had a version of the game. No, that was my kid calling. He had a package delivered. He bought a new guitar. Wanted me to grab it. Anyway, so I was sitting pretty good in the Pokemon game between my buddies' trades and trading him and back and forth and stuff, you know, to where I had like 200 and some odd mons. I ended up getting my way to 248. And I knew the duplication glitch of Generation 2, which you could duplicate Pokemon and you could duplicate items in the same way. The only thing is you ran the risk, of course, of corrupting your game. But hey, I didn't care. So what I would do is I would trade Pokemon over to my game that my buddy wanted, and then I would duplicate those Pokemon and then trade them back to him.
some of them we would breed, you know, and trade back and forth like starters and stuff. And then using his Gen 1 cartridge is how we got a lot of the other mons that we couldn't get. So it was getting to the point where I needed just a few more mons to complete the decks, and I was never going to get my hands on Celebi, something that he didn't have. Hold on. Jesus Christ, kid, you're at work. He's so worried about this thing. Paid good money for this guitar. He's rightly worried. Anyway, my buddy did have a Mew, and he was going to trade it to me. I was going to duplicate it a few times and then trade it back to him, all the duplicated ones. He didn't want to do the duplication on his game because of what I just said, how it could break your game. So I was willing to do it and trade it back to him, and he decided at that time he was going to trade me a shiny Eevee for doing the work because he had one. So he traded me the shiny Eevee, and I evolved it into Umbreon. And Umbreon is has been one of my favorite mons from Gen 2, especially the shiny form. Loved it, you know. A silver Eevee and a blue Umbreon was like the first shinies outside of the Gyarados I had ever seen. He ended up trading me that, and then I think I was at 248 mons. And then I found a Corsola, which is a rare fishing encounter that you get outside of Olivine City. So I'm sitting at 249 Pokemon out of 251. The Mew he traded me brought me to 250. We should sell this dirt to Tiz. We definitely should. And I did my duplications of the Mew. I traded them back to my buddy. And I left for the night. Left his house, turned off the game, went home, you know. Went to go about my normal nightly stuff of chores and whatnot. And we would get to it the next day. But I was excited. I was excited to play. I was excited to show my decks. You know, I was one away from completing the decks. I have completed the game, though. He'll buy it all. He'll buy all the dirt. Really? I'm going to message him in Discord and see how much he'll pay for 9 double chests of dirt. I need a fair bit of this, but not all of this. Yeah, there's a way to manipulate like I said, the RNG in Gen 1 of where you do a certain thing and then you have to battle the trainer in Misty's gym and then you can encounter a wild Mew on Nugget Bridge. It's weird. But anyway, time is up. Oh yeah, we're there. Game corrupted. Game corrupted and we lost all that save data, which really sucks. But he's streaming right now. Yeah, I'll jump. You know what? We're going to go ahead and end things here. I've got to get to some things this morning. And I hear movement about the cabin, so we're going to get started. We're going to raid Tiz then. Play till Crystal had all of it, but the Mew. Nice. Yeah, we're going to end things here. We'll try again next weekend. I need to get some recording done as well. So let's raid old Tiz Tom. Thank you guys for stopping in and listening to all the chatter. So /raid Tiz Thomas. Here we go. Let's go raid Tizzy.